What's cracking, guys? Bruce Madsen here, your host show of Metric Scout Fantasy Football, and we're still rolling out this rookie profile series, talking about these rookies individually as we get you set up for them rookie drafts. If that's something you're into, smash that subscribe button right now so you don't miss an episode. We got a lot of these players in the archives, along with a lot of mock drafts. I got more mock drafts than anybody on YouTube for these rookie drafts. I got player rankings and everything else. Binge it, do whatever you want with it, but it's there for you. Again, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. But today we are talking about Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from Ohio State. One of my favorite wide receivers in this year's class. One of my favorite wide receivers in college football. I'm a Ohio State fan, so I've watched him throughout his career. He's a 5-star recruit in a 2019 class. 247 Sports had him rated as the second wide receiver that year. And really, in the Ohio State's spring game, going into his freshman season, he made some big plays. There was that one touchdown catch where he climbed the ladder and brought it home. It was like a one-handed grab, strong hands. And from there, everyone knew big things were coming. Everyone was projecting that. In my old podcast, I was talking about that a lot. I was expecting him to be getting a lot of touchdowns early on during his freshman season. His freshman year, he produced 432 yards and 5 touchdowns. I think if I remember, I was projecting him to hit like 6 to 8. So 5 is pretty good as a freshman. The following year, his sophomore season, 2020, 723 yards, 6 touchdowns. This was his breakout year. He was 20 years old with a 34.43% market share of the passing production. Then we roll into this year, 2021. He had 70 catches, 1,058 yards. First time hitting that 1,000-yard threshold, and 12 touchdowns. Had a 24.16% market share. We saw a dip there, but remember, Jackson Smith, the Jigba, came in, blew up. Chris Olave's still there, and really with all those mouths to feed, you're going to see a little dip there, but 24.16, he was still eating in this passing offense. 2.14 yards per team pass attempt. A good ownership rate there. 3 yards per route run, so he's efficient. When you analyze the tape, you're going to see a lot of good things. Garrett Wilson is one of the best wide receivers in college football, and there's a reason for that. First thing I want to point out, and I don't see a lot of people talking about this, but he has elite change of direction skills. So when he's breaking off his routes, he's able to get from point A to point B laterally like that, and it's smooth, crisp footwork, and it's light and subtle. And the reason why people don't notice it that often is because he wants it to be nice and subtle, because it allows him to sell his routes easier, because if his feet are clumpy or if he's telling his routes, then the DB's going to pick on it. If the people are trying to evaluate him notice what he's trying to do easily, kind of predict where he's going to go, then he's really not doing his job. So his job is to sell his routes before the break to keep the DB guessing. Also try to keep you guessing as well, and he does a very good job at that. His short area quickness is good. It allows him to get from one area to another really quick when breaking off those routes. It allows him to create that separation and goes with those change of direction skills that I was talking about. So not only does he have sweet feet, he's quick doing it, and he breaks off those routes pretty sharp. He's very snappy on the footwork, very limited drift on his breaks, which allows him to maximize his separation from the defender. And if it doesn't happen, if the separation doesn't get there, he's still open, even when he's covered, because he has elite ball skills. Probably one of the best ball skills in this draft. He can time the jump right, has strong hands. Whether he's contested or not, he's more than likely going to bring it home. His hands are sticky. He can box out defenders when the ball's in the air, has good body control. There's not really any weaknesses to his game. There's not really much bad things that he does that you can point out unless you really nitpick. And you do not want to nitpick prospects too much when you're analyzing tape, because this is going to create these weird biases that's going to throw you off on some of the prospects. Just notice where they're good, notice the main things where they're bad, and then keep it moving. But if you put that monocle on, look through the tape too hard, you could trip yourself up. That is something I've noticed people do throughout the years. Just keep it moving with these prospects. But the thing that you could really harp on him about, but it's not really a weakness, but you could kind of say it is, but it's just not how he wins on the field, is he doesn't have elite speed. He's not a 4.3 guy. He's not a low 4.4 guy, but it doesn't matter. He wins with technique. He wins with skill, and that's just how he plays the game. He's a bully at the catch point. He plays bigger than his size, strong hands, crisp route running. He's a separator and does everything well. He is going to be a first-round pick in this year's draft. He is going to be one of the first wide receivers selected, if not the first wide receiver selected. The draft capital matters, and that means he could be a top-tier producer at the NFL level, or at least get the opportunity early in his career. When it comes to player comps, there aren't many players that really compare to him, but I kind of have him in an archetype, kind of like a Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen type of player. Technicians who can blow past defenders, good footwork, good route running. He has really good ball skills, kind of more towards a Stephon Diggs type of player. The quickness is more towards Stephon Diggs, but the cerebralness, the fortitude while running his routes, that also has a little Keenan Allen in it. It's a little bit of a mix, and then that ball skills, the ability to climb the ladder, to bring the ball home, to out-muscle defenders, that's something more than what these two wide receivers got. But Stephon Diggs, in his highlights, especially in his younger days, he had that playmaking ability as well, and Keenan Allen's been a stud for years, so nothing to knock on that guy. I love watching him play. I think Garrett Wilson is kind of in this mesh of an archetype that I'm talking about, with the great technique, the ball skills, the sweet feet, and the ability to bully defenders at the catch point. That's all I got here on Garrett Wilson. He's one of my favorite wide receivers in this draft. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Helps fuel the channel, helps fuel me to keep studying these rookies for you, putting out this content and everything else. Again, I want to thank you, and I'll catch you next time.